Yes, good morning, everyone. Welcome for our demo sessions in Fusion HCM. And previous session, we talked about what is cloud, what are different cloud companies we have, and what are cloud products we have. This all we have discussed in our previous session. In this session, we are going to see the Fusion environment, how it looks like. What are the different areas we will be working as functional consultant in Oracle Cloud Fusion applications. That's what we are going to discuss now. Let's connect to the application. We'll be getting the URL like this. So once we get an URL, let's enter. We don't need to install any software in our laptop or in desktop. We just need an internet connection. And once we enter the URL, enter the credentials here. Now we are connecting to the cloud. We are connecting to Oracle Cloud here. This is the front end look and feel of Oracle Fusion Applications, ERP. Oracle Fusion Applications, ERP. There will be two menus. Left side, we will find a navigator menu. This navigator menu is used to perform transactions. This is used to perform transactions. Here it is. And right side, we will find user menu. This is used to perform the setups. Whenever we want to perform some setups, we'll be using this setup and maintenance. Okay. So once we get an environment, if you want to create your own credentials, for example, you have received an instance from your client and they have asked you to configure yourself, your own credentials. Let's go to Navigator and Tools menu. Once you go to Tools menu, let's go for Security Console. Go to Security Console here. In the Security Console, we'll be able to find the user management and role management. We'll be working in the Security Console in the next hour training sessions. The Security Console is important for everybody. Everybody must have an idea of this. And we'll be talking how we can work with the user management, how we can work with the role management, what is meant by analytics, how it can be done, what is meant by certificates, how it will be configured, and single sign-on, what exactly the single sign-on in cloud environment, how the API authentication will be validated. Most of the things are related for technical, but still we required a knowledge about all these topics. Even though we are from functional background, but still we need some information about all this like administration. Okay. Let's go to the tab called Users tab, and we would like to go for create a user account. Now the system is asking us, you want to create a user account or you want to compare the existing users. Two things are there. So click this button, add user account to create new user, to create new user. If you want to compare the users, nothing but comparing the roles between the two users. Let's say there are two users X and Y, and you want to compare the users, then we'll be using this compare button. Now we just wanted to have a user account. Go for user account. I'm going to create a user account here. First name I'm mentioning here, John. Last name is Miller. John.Miller@cast.com and password then go for add roles over here. Without roles also user can log in. It's not a problem. Let me just save and close without roles and we'll see how it looks like. This is what username has prepared by the system, and system has taken the format last name dot first name is the username, right? And then go for save and close. Now we are trying to log in, but this user does not have any roles at this point of time. Let's log out from here and log in. This is our username. Now John Miller has connected to the application by entering the username and password, but he does not have the access to the application. See, whenever he go to navigator, he can find only 3 tabs: me, tools, and others. Only self information this employee is able to log in. This employee is able to log in only self information here. And whatever the menus you have, menu options, the same thing it is showing here. There is nothing difference. This we call it as a navigator, and this we call it as springboard. This we call it as springboard. The same, we don't find any difference. You got something social and my CV, right? Under me, the same thing you will find, social. When you go for tools, you got some options, approvals and all. The same thing here you can find. Yes. Right? Yes. Okay. Now we will see how we can go for add the roles to the users. Just log out from this user. This user does not have the permission. Let's log out from here. Whenever we are working in Fusion applications, as a functional consultant or as technical consultant, you need an implementation roles permission. You need access to the implementation roles. Now we'll discuss what are that implementation rules. What are the implementation rules? How we can assign those implementation roles to the user. That's what we are going to discuss. Let's go to navigator here. Once we go to navigator, let's go to tools menu and we will go for security console here. If we do not have the access to security console, we cannot do the user management or role management. It's not possible. So we must go for the tab called users tab here. Must go for tab users tab here. Go to the users tab here and search for username. John Miller is the username, right? Search icon. Then we will be able to find the user is active. The user is not logged. Click on this. Now what we want to do, we want to add the role. We'll be having detailed discussion about the roles, how to create a role, how to edit the role, how we can provide role provisioning rules, how to make the role as automatic attachment. Those all things we'll be discussing in detail later. At this point of time, we can just remember a role is nothing but a permission or access to the application. Role is nothing but a permission or access to the application. So in Fusion applications, there are a lot of modules are there and a lot of application features are there. But what features you want to give the permission to this user? For example, Mr. John Miller is a procurement consultant. Let's say he's a buyer. Then obviously whatever the buyer actions are required, that we will give the permission. For example, he is a sales representative. Then related to the sales, whatever tasks are there, that we will go for assign to Mr. John Miller. Let's say he is a finance analyst. Then related to the finance analyst, whatever the tasks are there, that we will assign. Okay, because we don't want to give the permission to the user to access the entire product. When employee login depends on the client's requirement, he should access the application only. How it is possible is by using the roles. Depends on the roles you have assigned to the user, user can access. If user says that I am not able to terminate one employee and I am not able to hire an employee, or I am not able to transfer an employee, then what is the reason behind that? You don't have the access, or you don't have a permission. Indirectly, you don't have the role. You don't have the role. So that we have to assign. That's why this environment, security console environment, will be under the control of our functional consultant or administrator. So when the client requests us, then we will go for assign those roles to them. Obviously, we'll be discussing, there are different categories of roles, how we can create a new roles and all we'll be discussing, and we'll see how it will work in the next level. At this point of time, I'm going to explain you what are implementation roles. There are two implementation roles here. There are two implementation roles. One is application implementation consultant. Another one is IT security manager. Another one is IT security manager. Let me go for add application implementation consultant role. Application implementation consultant role. You have something called application implementation consultant copy. This is not required. Somebody might have copied, just like a save as. Generally we do, right? In our documentation, like that. Somebody might have copied to make some changes. Okay, that's not required. We'll choose directly main role. Another role is IT security manager. Select IT security manager here. These two roles we will call it as implementation roles. If you have the access to the application implementation consultant role, you can implement this application to the client. It means indirectly you can do the functional setups. You can do the functional setups to your client. You got a permission to do the setups. Maybe you are HR consultant or finance consultant or supply chain, doesn't matter. You can do the setups. If you have the access to IT security manager, then you can manage the users and the roles information. Security is nothing but access, right? User access, role access, resetting the passwords, right? This all comes under. This is called IT security manager. So when we are working in the real time, when we are working in the project, if your project manager gives to you the credentials and ask you to start work, first what we have to do is we need to cross check whether we have the permission to the security console and as well as FSM. Nothing but implementation rules, application implementation consultant and IT security manager. Okay, so let's go for verify this here. Now John Miller is going to log in and cross check. Let me log out from the current user and log in with the new user. When we are working in the project, as soon as we receive the credentials here, then we will go for select here. Now we can find, see, there are more tabs available here, and same thing left side navigator. A lot of other things are there, no need to worry about those things. We have to go directly here, tools menu, and then go to security console. Yes. Now Mr. John Miller is having the access to the security console. It means indirectly IT security manager role has assigned for this particular user. So he can go for manage the users and roles and other information. Here it is. Okay. Then go to user menu, setup and maintenance. This is very important. 90% our work will be in this environment only. We will call it as FSM, stands for Functional Setup Manager. Functional Setup Manager. Security console is just for user and role, not much. But this environment is very important. Here only we are going to find out. Okay, so this environment we call it as FSM, Functional Setup Manager. Okay, here if we look at, these are the different offerings we have. We'll discuss about this. This is very important. We can see the list of offerings here. The same list we can also find here. Go to actions, offerings, go to offerings. Both are same. Here icons will be displayed and here list will be displayed. Both are same. So let me go to actions, go to offerings here. Yes, now we'll talk about what is meant by offerings in Fusion applications. So in our previous demo, we have discussed, right? In our previous demo, we discussed about what is cloud, what are different clouds. As we have already uploaded in the YouTube channel, I request everyone, please subscribe to our channel to get latest updates about Oracle Cloud product, features and jobs, and the interview questions and other options. Our demos are also available over here. It is. And the current demo also will be there. And tomorrow, whatever the demo we are going to have, last demo, that session also will be available in our YouTube channel. Okay. As we discussed yesterday, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. If there are any enterprises doing some business to maintain their day-to-day business transactions, maybe their accounts, maybe their sales and distribution, maybe their logistics transactions or manufacturing transactions or employee transactions. When I say employee, we'll hire employees, we'll terminate employee, we'll transfer employee, we'll pay the salaries to the employee, we'll deduct the salary, and we will be applying for leaves, leave management, employee performance, setting the goals to the employees and the performance management. This is all right, all the resource. If you want to utilize your resource in a proper method, you need a software to maintain all this information. We'll call it as enterprise resource planning. Mainly, we will have finance domain, nothing but finance offerings, finance, supply chain management, human capital management, customer relationship management, and we will be having the other like project portfolio management, Oracle Recruitment Cloud. This is all we are going to have. Financials. This is used to maintain the accounting information. Supply chain management means sales, procurement, and all. Human capital management means employees related data. Employees related data, we are going to have it here. Okay. Customer relationship management, project portfolio management, Oracle Recruitment Cloud. This. Okay. So here, different offerings are there. Depends on the requirement. The client is going to, depends on the requirement, client is going to subscribe or get a license for usage to maintain that information. They are going to get a subscription. The moment when we log into the applications, the first thing what we have to do, what are the offerings your client has subscribed, that we have to find out. Is the client is subscribed to financials, or how to find here? We can find the status. Financials is there, marketing is there, order management is nothing but a sales, procurement is there, product management is nothing but inventory, manufacturing, projects, PPM, project portfolio management, Fusion Accounting Hub, and then we have risk management, and we have public sector business licenses like this. We have. Then where is the HCM? We have supply chain management. We have student management also, like universities. If there are some top universities or top educational institutions wants to maintain their information properly, then they can utilize this domain, this module, right? Sales module is there, and other things we have. Then where is human capital management? The human capital management is a combination of 3 offerings. What are that? When I talk about human capital management, it is a combination of 3 offerings. Workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation management. Whenever we combine all these 3, we'll call it as human capital management. We'll call it as human capital management. Workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation management. Let's see whether those 3 are there in this instance. The moment when we go to the offerings, we could see that here compensation management. We can see the compensation management. Here it is. After that, where do we find this workforce development and deployment? We can find here workforce deployment, and we can find here workforce development. Here we'll come to know the status of this workforce deployment and development. And we can find the related documents also, the functional setups document. We can find the tasks, task lists. This is all we can find over here. It is that we are going to find out the documents. Okay. So this is about the environment. The moment when we log in, we have to find first whether we have the access to our implementation roles or not. The second one is whether the human capital management is enabled or not, or the client is subscribed for this or not. Generally, in on-premises, we used to call it as first client has to buy the licensed software. The same words in the cloud, we call it as the client has to be subscribed. So subscription or license. Both are same here. Okay. So here we can find that first compensation management, and we'll find two more last, workforce deployment and development. When we combine these three offerings, we call it as HCM, human capital management. Human capital management. Now we'll see what are the modules are there in all these three offerings. If we go for the offerings, what are the modules are there? Let me open one image. Yes, this particular image will shows us what are the modules in all these three domains we have here. So we can see that left side here, there are three domains: workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation management. All these three we have, and span business processes we have. Span business processes we have. What is meant by span business processes? The span business processes is nothing but a global topic or global concept which is available in all the modules. For example, fast formula, nothing but writing the logic and dynamically we are going for generate the result. This is available in all the modules. It means it is interlinked with all the modules. Profile management. Profile is nothing but employee self-information. Employee self-information. So that also almost it is interlinked with all the modules. Workforce directory management. That also is interlinked with all the modules here. Right. So workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation. There are three offerings. In every offering, there are some modules. Whenever client decide and go to the Oracle, and they will be taking the license or subscription only for the modules what they want to use it. Okay. So workforce deployment has got global HR module, payroll module, time and labor, options management. Of course, there are something workforce protections, workforce management. Those all are simple things, not required here. Not required here. No need to worry about it. It's very simple things. Mainly four modules: global HR, payroll, time and labor, options management. Here, global HR is mandatory. Every client has to configure this. Global HR is mandatory. Every client has to go for implement the first module. We call it as GHR also. We call it as GHR, global HR, or core HR also. Or core HR also here. We call it as a core HR also. This is global HR. And then we have the payroll module. We have the payroll module. So what is payroll module? Payroll module is used to calculate the employee salaries. Let's say I have 20,000 employees. Each employee has got different structure, salary structure. End of the month or end of the week, I'm supposed to pay the salaries to the employees. If I want to pay the salary, first of all, I have to calculate, right? How much employee has earned. Any deductions are there, any leaves, PF, ESI, and any voluntary deductions, involuntary deductions, right? This all things we need to go with that. So that's what we call it as global payroll, global payroll module, or payroll localization. Localization is nothing but country-wise. For example, India localization, nothing but India clients. Sri Lanka localization. So Sri Lanka clients will be using that options here. It is right. Then options management. Options management is a module like a leave management. This module is used to manage the employee leaves. So when we have some thousands of employees with a different position, different grades, the number of leaves allocation also different, right? Depends on the position or grade, will have different management, right? So here the options management module is used to configure this leave plans, leave allocations, sick leave, maternity leaves, like that. Time and labor is for maintaining the employee shift timing and other options we are going to have time and labor here. Okay, so then this is about the 4 modules which we have workforce deployment, and then we have workforce development. What is workforce development? Development is nothing but, let's say we hired an employee, right? An employee joined in our organization, and then we will start assigning some work to the employee, and we'll try to put some goals to the employees, and we'll try to give some training also to the employees, and we will try to give some mentoring also to the employees, and finally we'll try to analyze the employee performance, whether he is working properly or not. We will try to identify what are the positive things and negative things in employee work environment. Then we'll try to fix up that. This is all completely development of an employee. Of course, employee is working for a company, but whatever the skills are there at the time of employee joining, then organization will try to improve that skills for an employee by giving the opportunity to learn and all. And organization is trying to set the goals also. Organization is trying to put some pressure. Organization is trying to measure the performance of the employee. Finally, they are trying to show the result, employee performance, overall performance of the employee end of the year. That's what we call it as appraisal process. Based on that, they will give the hikes to the employees. Manager, end of the year, they will inform to the employee, at the starting of this year, you started with these skills. At the end of this year, your skills are like this. You did this work, and these are the goals we assigned. These are the goals you have completed. And these are the certifications we given the opportunity to learn, and you completed this many certifications. And these are the suggestions you given to the client, and these are the feedback you received from the clients. All this information will put in front of the employee and try to give the hikes to the employee. That's what manager will do that. That is what we call it as development, employee development. This all modules are used: talent review, performance management, goal management, succession management. We call it as talent management module also. Next, compensation management. So once we hire an employee, if he performs well, then we'll try to give some benefits, and we'll try to give the compensations, right? That's and all compensation module, benefits module we are going to find out here. We are going to find compensation and benefits module over here. Okay, so span business process is mainly for managing our topics which are global, over here it is. Okay, so whenever we are working in the environment, we will be having these 3 offerings in human capital management. In every offering, there are some modules here. Let me just describe this. Excuse me, I'm sorry. In workforce deployment, we'll find a global HR, payroll, options management, time and labor. This we are going to have. Workforce development, this all we are going to have it here. Succession management and all, compensation management. What we are going to learn, when I say human capital management, when we talk about fusion applications, these all are there. As we discussed, fusion applications is one of the ERP product or ERP application. Where is this? It's there in Oracle Cloud. It's Oracle product. This is a Oracle product. This is Oracle ERP product. Where it is there, it's stored in Oracle Cloud, means in Oracle servers, in Oracle data centers. Clients has to connect. So MRF client or Xerox client, whoever it is. Excuse me. In India, ICICI Bank use this Oracle Cloud, and Airtel is use Oracle Cloud. You might be using Act FiberNet. They use Oracle Cloud. That all clients are using this cloud. In this cloud, this software is there. Cloud is nothing but a server, nothing else. Cloud is nothing but a server, virtual machine. How these clients are going to connect to this particular servers? How these clients means client employees. Every day, this company's employees comes to office, right? They'll be connecting to the server by giving the username and password. How they will be connecting? Like this only, like this username and password. They just need an internet. That's all. They just need an internet. Enter the URL and enter the credentials and start working on that. It may be banking industry, automobile industry, manufacturing industry, education sector, or it can be a retail industry, any type of business people. If they want to maintain their day-to-day business transactions, they can use this particular product called Fusion Applications product. Okay. These are the different domains are there: finance domain, HCM domain, supply. It's a vast product. It's a vast product. No product is there right now in the market having these many modules. Recently, Oracle has acquired one company called Cerner company. Just give me 2 minutes. I will explain that also. Oracle buys Cerner for $28 billion, almost $28,000. Oracle-based medical records company Cerner. So what is Cerner company? What this company will do? Cerner company is basically, it's one of the software company. They have some software products. By using those software applications, they are maintaining complete health records information. For example, you go to Apollo Hospital or Care Hospital, they'll maintain the patient's record information, right? Like that, this Cerner company will maintain the complete health record information, including doctor's voice automation, patient's voice automation, entire patient's tracking information, health related analytics has been applied. All over the US, maximum healthcare clients will be using this software. Oracle has acquired this company. So it's a very big merger. This is a very big merger. Okay. So down the line, with the including finance, ORC, supply chain management, human capital management, Oracle also says that we have an excellent healthcare analytics software, and they'll try to sell this product across the world. Cerner is not having a brand value across the world. They have a brand value only in the US. Cerner company is having a brand value only in the US, not across the world. But Oracle is having. Oracle has having the data centers across the world. They got the clients, they got the brand, they got the resource. So down the line in 2 to 3 years, obviously they'll try to say that we are also good in healthcare sector. You have any software issues or requirements in healthcare sector, we are ready to deploy it. That's how they are improving their cloud environment. Okay. So here, whatever we are discussing, that is about the human capital management. In human capital management, what are the modules are there? Okay. So in this, what modules we are going to learn in our training? What modules we are going to learn in our training, and how much time it takes for us, and after that, how we will go for apply for a job. That's what we are going to discuss now. Okay. When we say there are 8 to 9 modules, there are 8 to 9 modules in our Fusion human capital management. Entire Fusion applications, you have more than 100 modules right now. Entire Fusion applications, you got more than 100 modules. Right. But In human capital management, there are around 9 modules. Out of 9 modules, a minimum 3 modules we have to be strong. We have to be a master. When we say I'm a human capital management functional consultant, the first question in the interviews they'll ask us, tell me which modules you are flexible to implement for the clients. So in our training, we are going to learn 4 modules. Let me open the syllabus copy here. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, so this is going to be our syllabus. As we are discussing now, Fusion ERP has got finance, HCM, supply chain management, like this different domains. Now we are talking about human capital management. There are around 8 main modules. There are 2 to 3 simple modules also there. There are small modules, 2 to 3 modules over there. And when we talk about the offerings which we have here, mainly the compensation management, we have 3 modules, 3 offerings, right? Workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation management. We'll be discussing about mainly 4 modules. 4 modules we have to go be very strong. And slightly we'll discuss about the individual compensation, not the in-depth of this one, not the in-depth of this one. So global HR is the first module. It's mandatory. GHR or core HR, everybody has to learn this. And we should be very strong in this area because every client will implement this. And if we are going to mention in your profile saying that I involved 4 projects, then obviously we have to specify the number of modules and number of times we have implemented. We can say 4 times we implemented global HR and payroll, absence management, talent management. This talent management is going to have some sub modules. When you combine all these 5 modules, we call it as talent management, like goal, profile management, performance management, succession, and talent review. Whenever you combine all these 5, then it's going to be talent management module. And individual compensation is nothing but employee salary basis, calculating the employee basic salaries, and all it comes under individual compensation. This is what we are going to learn as a functional consultant. This is our main syllabus. We'll be discussing complete end-to-end functional setups in these modules. This is mandatory. And there is no coding here. It's completely setups, configurations. When we are going through this particular setups, we'll also get some topics which are related for technical. We will be covering those topics also. When I say technical, there will be only 3: data loading, data extraction, data reporting. There will be only 3 topics in our technical area: data loading, data extract, and data reporting. So we'll be discussing about the technical part also partially, because when we are applying as a functional consultant, obviously they will expect some basic knowledge about the technical. That's why we'll be having the option here, technical. Over here it is. We are going to have the technical over here. So here, if you want to be strong in technical also, then you can go for learn some basic SQL and go ahead with this options. Here it is. And go ahead with these options. Here it is. Okay, fine. So this is how about we are going to have the functional as well as the technical options. Yes, anybody is having doubts now on the syllabus? It takes 45 working hours to learn this complete module. We'll be providing the training. After that, we are providing the placement. Okay. If you have any doubts now, you can ask. Please, you can unmute yourself and go for ask for the doubt.
So you mentioned you cover only the four or five modules, which is highlighted in yellow. What about others like goal, profiles? Are you covering the sub-modules?
Yes, yes. See, talent management is nothing but these 5 modules. When we combine these 5 modules, it's a talent management. So that we are going to complete.
So in compensation management, we are not covering any topic?
No. OTL, compensation, and benefits. These 3 modules are advanced modules. People who are already working will try to learn these 3 modules. We are not covering here. It is because these are the base modules everybody has to learn.
Why is that? So you only mentioned that HCM means 3 components, and if we cover all 3 components, then it will be complete, right? Otherwise,
yes. It's difficult to learn all the modules. We cannot learn, right? All the modules becoming master is difficult. Generally, 2 to 3 modules only they will expect when we say 5 years of experience. So it's difficult to learn more than 3 or 4 modules in the domain. And most of the requirements will be in these modules. Yes, any other doubts?
Hi, Chandra. This is Basha. Requirement means in the as per functional or as per technical. Most of the stuff
functional. Technical is common for any module. You work for OTL or compensation benefits. The technical syllabus will be same. If you want to go ahead as a technical developer in human capital management, as I said, there will be 3 areas. 1, data loading. 2, data extraction. 3, data reporting. So that is common for any module.
If we learn this is I think it's is it going to be add on to our career?
Yes. This for whatever the syllabus we are going to provide, that is, it's a vast syllabus. It takes 45 working hours. After that, it's difficult. At least we need to work for 1 or 2 years in the real time. Then the people try to adapt the advanced modules. These modules, OTL, compensation, and benefits, very few clients will go for implement these modules. So somebody wants to upgrade their skills, then they'll try to get it.
Here we are going to be doing the end-to-end any one project like through covering all the modules.
All the modules we are going to do like an end-to-end implementation project. Whatever the training we are going to discuss here, the same thing we are going to do it in our project as well as in our interviews also.
Okay. And how many days we can have the instance, Chandra?
We are providing 6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Before implementation, do we have any what's called procurement kind of document like EBS we are doing for before implementation, like VR and VVAT like that? In Fusion also we can do like that, or any documentation work is there?
Yes, for Fusion applications like Oracle applications, ERP software, we used to have AIM documentation templates. Now we have OEM templates, Oracle Unified Methodology templates.
Okay. So before implementation, suppose we are before going to use the creation, we will get the requirement from the client. Based on that, we prepare that Fusion document. Am I right? Like
yes. Requirement gathering. This all things comes here.
Okay. Thank you. That's what we are going to expand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Chandra, I think I saw somewhere in your videos like online trainings. We can get it for online trainings.rtl online trainings.com. It's not opening, I think, now nowadays. Is it going to be you have to provide the
That
access
is,
or otherwise?
no, that is, this is about the syllabus, what we are going to learn. And today we have seen a couple of things practically in this session. We talked about how we can create our own username and password and what are the basic roles required for us. And then we worked with the security manager, like security console environment, FSM environment, functional setup manager environment. So in this syllabus copy, we have the detailed information like global HR module, payroll module, options management and talent management modules, and some basic idea about the technical modules and how we can configure the job workforce structures. This itself is a vast, whatever we are going to provide, this itself is a vast, and it's going to be, it's going to be more for an HCM consultant in the initial stage. Over here it is. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to have another demo session. That's going to be our last demo session. From day after tomorrow onwards, the regular sessions will be started. You please consult your consultant to whom you are referred. And tomorrow we'll have one employee hiring, how we can hire one employee, how we can configure the enterprise structure. What is enterprise structure? Means organization structure. That we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you. So again, the same, this demo also will be
1 hour class, right?
Yes, daily it will be 1 hour session. Yes. Yeah. So it will be uploaded, this video, in our YouTube channel. Please get it and subscribe on this. Yes, please. Yes, every training session is going to be recorded and it will be shared to your Google Drive. You can download, and we'll have a separate material also for that, and you can get it, those materials information. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your valuable time you spent with me. Let's see you tomorrow on the same time and same link. That's going to be our last demo, third demo. Thank you.
Thank you.